I saw my wife's bare leg hook around his waist before I even realized it was her. Through the office window, 10th floor, downtown, she was pressed against her desk, hair wild, shirt half open. Her laugh? I hadn't heard that sound in years. Not from her. Not from me. And the guy with her? Brandon. Her junior. Her assistant. The man she said was just a kid trying to make it in corporate. That same kid now had his tongue down her throat while my world burned from the inside out. I was parked across the street, watching through binoculars like some private investigator on a budget. But this wasn't just about catching her. This was about planning something she'd never see coming. See, this all started a week ago when I noticed her coming home later than usual, makeup perfect, clothes wrinkled, a smug little smirk like she'd won the damn lottery. She told me she was reviewing employee files. I should have asked. Naked? But I didn't. I waited. I installed a tracker on her phone. I read her messages. And tonight was confirmation. But this wasn't just cheating. This was betrayal at a level that shattered everything we built. She didn't just betray me. She betrayed our kids, Ethan and Lily. She turned our home into a lie. And that's when something inside me snapped. You ever had a moment where your hands stop shaking, your breathing slows, and all the pain turns to precision? That was me, sitting in that car, watching my wife giggle while her lover zipped his pants. I didn't storm in. I didn't scream or punch walls. I pulled out my phone, took the photos I needed, and called my kids. Hey, Dad's picking you up early tomorrow. Don't tell Mom. I had a plan now, not just to expose her, but to outplay her. This wasn't just about a divorce or some court settlement. No. I was going to dismantle her world with the same coldness she used to destroy ours. Back at home, she came in humming. Humming. She kissed my cheek, tossed her heels, and poured a glass of wine like she hadn't just been tangled up with another man minutes ago. How was your day, babe? She asked. I smiled. Productive. She had no idea I knew. And that's how I wanted it, for now. Here's the thing, Melissa was clever. Ruthless. The kind of woman who could lie with tears in her eyes and make you apologize for catching her. She'd done it before, little lies, white lies, harmless flirts. But this was war. The next morning, I called in sick to work. I dressed sharp. Went to the bank. Froze our joint accounts. Transferred the kids' college savings into a trust under my sister's name. Then I picked up Ethan and Lily from school. We drove past her office. I pointed at the tall glass building. You see that window on the 10th floor? I said. That's where your mom's new boyfriend works. Ethan looked confused. Lily stayed quiet. But they were old enough to understand. And I wasn't going to shield them from the truth, not anymore. That night I sat them down. We're going to play a game, I said. It's called Make Mom Tell the Truth. They smiled. Melissa didn't know it yet, but she wasn't just up against me. She was up against her own family now. And we weren't going to wait quietly while she laughed in our faces. Let her keep smiling. That smirk wouldn't last long. The next morning, everything was set. Melissa got up like she always did, no guilt, no shame, just perfectly polished lies painted over with mascara and lip gloss. She waltzed into the kitchen in that tight black pencil skirt, heels clicking like gunshots, humming like she didn't just wreck our family behind a glass office wall. Gotta run, babe, she said, sipping her overpriced latte. Big HR meeting today. I nodded. Hope Brandon's ready. She froze for a split second. Just a flicker. Then her expression snapped back. What? I smiled. Didn't you say Brandon was leading the presentation? She let out a fake laugh. Oh, right. Yeah. He's enthusiastic. I watched her walk out the door like a goddamn actress heading to an audition. But the curtain was about to fall. As soon as her car pulled away, I looked at my kids. Today's the day. Ethan, 13, sharp as hell, nodded with this quiet seriousness I hadn't seen before. Lily, 10, didn't really understand the weight of it all, but she hated secrets. And Mom had too many. I handed them both cards. On each, I'd printed a single question in bold black letters. Mom, why did you lie to us? I knew she'd crumble. Melissa might be ice cold to me, but she always underestimated how much the kids could see through her. She thought they were just accessories, cute smiles for Instagram, trophies for parent-teacher conferences. She forgot they had minds. And now they had questions. That afternoon, I called her office. Hey, this is Jake Harris, Melissa's husband, I said, keeping my tone light. I'm bringing the kids by. We wanted to surprise her. The receptionist hesitated. She's in a meeting right now. Perfect. We'll wait. I showed up 30 minutes later, kids in tow, camera in my jacket, evidence folder under my arm. We waited in the lobby. Brandon walked by once, didn't even notice us. I felt Lily's grip tighten around my hand. Then came Melissa. Tight blouse. Lipstick a little too fresh. She looked surprised, not the good kind. Jake? She asked, eyes darting between us. What are you doing here? Family visit, I said. Thought we'd bring you lunch. Ethan handed her his card. She opened it. Read it. Blinked. Then Lily gave her hers. Why did you lie to us? That's when her face dropped. For the first time, her mask cracked. What is this? She asked, voice unsteady. Sit down, Melissa, I said. We need to talk. She tried to keep control. Not here. Let's go outside. I shook my head. Nope. We do this now. Right here. In front of them. You lied to all of us, remember? She glanced around, coworkers staring, whispers beginning. Jake, please. I pulled out the photos. The texts. Laid them out on the table like a game of poker. Her mouth opened, then shut. Nothing. Not a word. Ethan leaned in. Is that Brandon? She didn't answer. Lily looked up at her. Why were you kissing him, Mommy? Now she looked like she might faint. It's not what it looks like, she muttered. No? I asked. So what is it? A team-building exercise? Silence. The entire lobby was watching. Good. She tried to collect the papers, but I snatched them back. You don't get to bury this. Not this time. Finally, she snapped. You don't understand. I was unhappy. I needed attention. You're always so distant, always in your own world. I didn't plan for this. Wrong move. Ethan stood. So you decided to lie to us instead? She looked like a deer in headlights. Ethan, sweetie. Don't sweetie me, he said, voice ice cold. Melissa realized, too late, that her own kids weren't on her side anymore. This wasn't just a confrontation. This was the beginning of her fall. Melissa stood in the middle of the office lobby like someone had ripped her crown off and shoved her off her throne. No words, no excuses, no charm left to throw around. Her eyes darted between the kids and me like she was hoping someone would save her. No one did. Not Brandon. Not her coworkers. They just watched, some whispering, some filming, some smirking like they'd always known something was off about her. HR Queen caught with her armor down. She finally hissed. You ambushed me, in front of my children? I leaned in. No, Melissa. You ambushed us. With lies. With Brandon. With every night you came home smelling like him. She flinched. Ethan crossed his arms. I hope he was worth it. Lily started to cry. I bent down and hugged her, shielding her eyes from Melissa, who now looked like a ghost trying to blend into the walls. And still, the bitch tried to spin it. It's not what you think. Brandon and I, it was just a stupid phase. It didn't mean anything. That sentence sealed it. I stood up and spoke just loud enough for the surrounding employees to hear. So you risked your marriage, your kids, and your dignity, for something that didn't mean anything? Her face turned bright red. She grabbed my arm, trying to pull me aside. Jake, please don't do this here. I shrugged her hand off. You already did this here. Brandon finally walked up, awkwardly buttoning his cuffs. Is everything okay? Melissa spun toward him like she just remembered he existed. Brandon, I stepped in front of her. No, you don't get to explain anything to him right now. He's irrelevant. You've got 2 kids who just watched you fall apart. That's who you should be talking to. Brandon backed off. Coward. Melissa exhaled sharply. You want me to grovel? In front of the kids? I shook my head. No, Melissa. I want you to tell the truth. For once. No filters. No half-lies. Just say it, you cheated. She stared at the ground. Say it, Ethan demanded. Her voice cracked. I made a mistake. I looked at Ethan and Lily. Come on. Let's go. Melissa's head shot up. Wait. Don't you walk away from me. Too late. We were already walking through the glass doors while the office stared in dead silence. Back at the car, Lily sniffled and clung to me in the back seat. Ethan was dead silent in the front, staring out the window like he'd aged 5 years in 1 hour. I drove to my sister Angela's place and dropped them off again. Told them we'd figure things out, but for now, they needed to be with someone who hadn't broken their hearts. Then I went back home. Melissa beat me there. She was standing in the kitchen, arms crossed, eyes burning. What the hell was that, Jake? You humiliated me in front of my colleagues. My boss was there. I dropped the key on the table. Good. Maybe now people will see you for who you really are. You dragged the kids into it. How dare you? How dare I? I snapped. How dare you cheat in the office and come home like nothing happened? How dare you smile at me with his mouth still on yours? She paused. I didn't mean to hurt you. I laughed. You didn't even think of me. There was a beat of silence. Then she sneered. You know what? Maybe if you weren't such a boring, predictable husband, I wouldn't have needed to look somewhere else. There it was. The real her. I smiled. Thanks. That's all I needed to hear. I picked up the folder of evidence. Every message. Every photo. Every timestamp. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. She scoffed. You think you'll take the kids? I stepped close. I'm not taking them, Melissa. You already lost them. You just haven't realized it yet. Her jaw clenched. I turned, walked upstairs, and locked the bedroom door. Revenge wasn't over. It was just warming up. That night I didn't sleep. Not because I was crying or falling apart like some broken mess, no. That part of me had died the moment Melissa blamed me for her affair. I didn't feel pain anymore. I felt cold. Focused. Like a man who just realized his entire life was built on quicksand, and was now determined to rebuild, piece by piece, brick by brick, without her. I sat in our bedroom. No, my bedroom now, door locked, laptop open, documents spread across the bed like war maps. Melissa was downstairs sulking, probably still trying to spin a narrative where she was the victim. Classic. She thought this was over. She thought I'd leave, file for divorce, split the assets, maybe cry a little, and fade from her life. She had no clue I was planning to burn her delusions to the ground. The next morning, I contacted my lawyer, David Monroe, sharp, no nonsense, the kind of guy who'd rip through a prenup like a pit bull through a steak. He reviewed the evidence and smiled. Jake, this is gold. Custody? Yours. House? Likely yours too, if we prove she brought the affair into the home. And based on your photos, that office might face legal consequences as well. You're saying I can sue them? Absolutely. She used company property. Company hours. There's a term for it, corporate misconduct. Her job is toast. Good. Melissa wanted excitement? Let her find it in a courtroom. I spent the next few days quietly prepping the field. I told the school to forward all communications directly to me. I closed joint bank accounts. Transferred all my shares in our investment portfolios. And I recorded every interaction with her, just in case she tried to twist my words later. Meanwhile, she kept trying to play damage control. Flowers appeared in the kitchen. Takeout from my favorite spot. She even slipped a note under the door. We can fix this. Think of the kids. Let's not destroy everything. Funny how now she was talking about destruction. A week ago, she was too busy getting her blouse undone by Brandon on her desk. I didn't reply. But I wasn't done with her yet. Here's where things got interesting. I picked up the kids from school on Friday. They were quiet, still adjusting, still processing. But they trusted me. And I wasn't going to let them grow up thinking betrayal goes unanswered. We went for ice cream. I asked them, "What if we taught Mom a lesson? One she'd never forget?" Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Like a prank?" "Smarter than a prank. Real consequences." He leaned in, eyes lighting up. "I'm listening." I told them the plan. See, Melissa was still pretending everything was okay at work. Still showing up. Still playing queen. So we were going to flip her fantasy upside down, publicly. I contacted Angela, my sister, who worked in corporate investigations. She agreed to anonymously leak the footage and emails I'd collected to Melissa's HR board. Internal Affairs would open a file. Brandon would be questioned. Her office romance wasn't a secret anymore, it was a scandal. Then we'd hit her where it hurt next, social media. I created a private, anonymous TikTok and Instagram account. Cheater Chronicles. A single video, blurred images of office windows, audio of Melissa's voice from a message she sent Brandon. "Don't worry, Jake's too blind to notice anything. He's a sweet idiot." The caption? "Office affair, HR manager sleeps with her junior husband and kids find out. Game on." Within 24 hours, the clip went viral. 50,000 views. Then 100,000. Then it exploded. Melissa didn't know what hit her. I watched her scroll on her phone at breakfast, her hand trembling slightly. She looked up at me, pale. "Jake, did you see this account?" I sipped my coffee. "Yeah. Wild world we live in." She looked like she'd seen a ghost. She hadn't even seen the worst yet. Melissa's hands shook like a leaf in a storm as she stared at her phone. The video was still playing, her own voice echoing out of the speaker, cruel and smug. "He's a sweet idiot." That single sentence had turned thousands of strangers against her overnight. I watched her try to keep it together. Her jaw clenched, shoulders stiff, fake calm in her voice. "Whoever made this, they edited it. It's out of context. This is slander." I just sipped my coffee. "Maybe. But it sounds a lot like you." Her phone buzzed again. Then again. Dozens of messages pouring in. Her group chats were exploding, coworkers asking questions, distant relatives reacting with shock and passive-aggressive emojis. She stood up suddenly and stormed toward the kitchen sink, muttering, "I'm calling Brandon. He needs to." I cut her off. "He's not picking up. He's been suspended." She turned, her expression twisted in disbelief. "What?" "Corporate launched an internal investigation. HR got the footage. The emails. Everything." "How?" I leaned in, voice low and even. "Your world is crumbling, Melissa. You built it on lies, and now the foundation is giving out." For a second, she looked like she might lash out, scream, throw something, blame me. But there was nothing left to fight. She had no cards to play. She stormed upstairs, slammed the bedroom door, and stayed there for hours. Meanwhile, I took the kids to Angela's again. I wasn't going to let them sit in that house and watch their mother unravel. Not after everything. They needed peace. And honestly, so did I. Later that evening, Melissa came down. Her makeup was smeared, her voice hoarse, but the attitude was still there, buried beneath the panic. "I know you did this," she snapped. "The TikTok, the office leak, all of it. You think you're some kind of hero?" I leaned against the doorway. "No. I'm a husband who trusted his wife. A father who watched her lie to her own children. I'm not a hero. I'm just cleaning up the wreckage you made." "You humiliated me," she said, voice breaking. "Good," I replied. "You've been humiliating me for months. This is just me leveling the field." She wiped her eyes, then pointed at me. "This isn't over. You want to fight dirty? I can fight dirtier." I smirked. "By all means. Try me. But remember, I'm not the one who got caught mid-makeout with a subordinate during office hours." She stormed past me, grabbed her purse, and slammed the front door behind her. I watched through the window as she drove off. Probably to Brandon's. Poor bastard. He had no idea the tornado heading his way. The next day, The kids asked if we were getting a divorce. I didn't sugarcoat it. Yes. We are. Ethan nodded. Good. Lily didn't say anything. She just hugged me tight and whispered, I don't want to live with Mommy anymore. I held her close. You won't have to. By Monday, the social media pages had passed 1 million views. People were sharing the story everywhere. Forums, gossip sites, even a local news page had hinted at an HR scandal shaking up a major downtown firm. Melissa's phone never stopped buzzing. Her boss called. She was fired on the spot. Her LinkedIn was flooded with mocking comments. Even her closest friends stopped responding. No one wanted to be caught in the crossfire of her downfall. She came home that night with eyes swollen from crying, her hair a mess, her confidence shattered. For the first time in years, she looked small. You win, she whispered. I walked past her without a word. This wasn't about winning. This was about justice. You win. That's what Melissa whispered, standing in our foyer like a kicked-out prom queen, mascara streaked down her cheeks and hands trembling around her purse strap. But she still didn't get it. This wasn't a contest. This wasn't about points. This was about exposing the rot beneath her polished image, and making sure she never had the power to hurt anyone in this family again. I'm not looking for victory, I said flatly, not even turning around. I'm looking for closure. She dropped her purse. Jake, please. Just talk to me. One-on-one. No cameras. No kids. Just us. I turned slowly and studied her. Now you want honesty? After a full-blown affair in your office, gaslighting your own children, and publicly calling me a sweet idiot? Her face twisted. I didn't mean that. I raised an eyebrow. But you said it. And I made sure the whole world heard it. We're done playing pretend. She looked like she was about to collapse but kept herself upright. Can we at least talk about the kids? Joint custody? Mediation? I shook my head. No joint custody. No mediation. I've already filed for full custody. And considering the evidence, the public fallout, and the psychological damage you've caused them, no judge in their right mind will put them under your roof. Jake, you chose Brandon over your family. Live with it. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. Just a long exhale. And for a second, there it was again, the mask. The desperate attempt to act like she was still in control. Too late. I walked upstairs and left her standing there, alone with the consequences of her own games. That night, I slept better than I had in weeks. The next move? Finalizing the public exposure. With the help of Angela and David, we created a digital package, emails, timestamps, financial records, security footage, and forwarded it directly to a few news outlets known for exposing corporate misconduct. We didn't even have to name her. The blurred footage and audio had already connected the dots for anyone who followed the Cheater Chronicles account. Melissa became the faceless symbol of betrayal in every comment thread. People dissected her messages like crime scene evidence. Women called her a disgrace. Men called her predictable. Nobody defended her. And in the middle of all that, I kept my composure. Ethan and Lily were adapting better than expected. I got them into therapy. We baked cookies. Watched movies. Slowly, the tension in the house began to lift. It finally felt like home again, something it hadn't been for years. Meanwhile, Melissa tried to do damage control. She deleted all her social media. Deactivated her LinkedIn. Tried emailing the Cheater Chronicles account asking for the video to be taken down. Too late. It had been downloaded, reposted, and mirrored across half the internet. Her shame was permanent. She showed up at the house again, this time holding a stack of papers. I want to negotiate, she said. I opened the door halfway. Then call my lawyer. She tried to shove the papers into my hands. Just read them. I held up my phone. You're being recorded. Say what you need to say, or leave. She flinched. This used to be our home. And you used it like a hotel between meetings with Brandon. Silence. Then she whispered something so venomous it almost made me laugh. You're never going to be loved again the way I loved you. I gave her a long, steady look. Melissa, if that's what you call love, I'd rather live the rest of my life completely alone. She turned and walked away. And this time, I knew she wasn't coming back. The war wasn't just ending. It was already over. It's strange how quiet a house can feel once the storm has passed. Melissa was gone. Truly gone. No more surprise visits. No fake apologies. No gaslighting, no manipulating. Just silence. Peaceful, beautiful silence. She'd moved into a one-bedroom apartment on the other side of town. Word was, Brandon had dumped her too, as soon as the investigation at their office concluded. HR booted him out the same day Melissa got the call that her severance was being revoked due to gross misconduct. They were the perfect couple, right up until their affair became inconvenient. Meanwhile, I was rebuilding. Not just the house. Not just the daily routine. I was rebuilding myself. The version of me she tried to break, the boring, predictable husband she tossed aside like a spreadsheet, that man was gone. What was left was leaner, sharper, and finally, in control of his life. Ethan was opening up more. He wasn't angry anymore, just focused. He even asked me to take him to boxing lessons. I signed him up that same week. Lily was smiling again. She decorated her room with twinkle lights and hand-drawn signs that said things like, "No lies allowed." I didn't take them down. I left them exactly where she hung them. They were healing. We all were. Melissa tried calling a few more times. I didn't answer. Then came the emails. First angry, then pitiful. Then she sent a voice note, crying, rambling about memories, the kids, our old wedding song. I didn't even listen to the whole thing. I just forwarded it to my lawyer and archived the rest. She was trying to fish for sympathy, as if anyone owed her a second chance. As if one breakdown could erase months of deception, mockery, and betrayal. It was around then that the final blow landed, and I didn't even plan it. An anonymous user uploaded the full affair timeline to Reddit. Screenshots, blurred images, audio clips, even voice recordings from her office. I hadn't released half of that content. Someone else had been watching. Maybe a coworker. Maybe Brandon's own ex. I'll never know. Doesn't matter. What matters is what happened next. Melissa lost her seat on a local women's board she was part of. The nonprofit she volunteered for released a public statement cutting ties with her. Her name trended online, for all the wrong reasons. Her reputation in the community? Dead. Gone. Shattered beyond repair. And me? I was standing at the edge of the wreckage, finally breathing again. I wasn't angry anymore. That part had burned out. What I felt now was clarity. I sat Ethan and Lily down at the kitchen table one evening and said, "There's something I need to ask you." They looked up from their homework. "Would you be okay if I sold this house? Got us a new place? One without bad memories in the walls?" Ethan grinned. "With a pool?" Lily's eyes lit up. "And a trampoline?" I smiled. "We'll see what we can do." Within a month, I had the house on the market. Melissa had no claim to it. Everything was under control legally. David handled the final divorce filings. Custody? Awarded. Child support? Not needed. I took full financial responsibility without hesitation. I didn't need a penny from her. Let her struggle. Let her start from scratch. It's what I had to do. Difference is, I didn't cheat to get here. We moved into a new place in a quiet neighborhood, 3 blocks from my sister. The kids had their own rooms, their own space, their own fresh start. And me? I had peace. Real earned peace. But I wasn't finished just yet. There was still one more thing I had to do. 6 months later, everything had changed. The new house was filled with light, laughter, and life. Ethan had started excelling at boxing. He'd won his first local tournament, and proudly hung the medal above his desk. Lily had turned a corner too. Her nightmares stopped. Her smile was real again. And she'd finally stopped asking when Mommy was coming home. The past was still there, sure, like a scar. But we weren't bleeding anymore. I stood on our new porch one afternoon, sipping coffee, watching the kids ride their bikes down the quiet suburban street. The sun was setting. The sky looked like it had been set on fire, orange, red, violet. It felt like closure. That's when the envelope came. No return address. Just my name in slanted handwriting I hadn't seen in months. I already knew who it was from. Inside was a single handwritten letter, 2 pages long. No signature. Just her words. Jake, I know I'm the last person you want to hear from, but I had to try once. I've lost everything. My job, my friends, even my parents barely speak to me now. Brandon blocked me 2 months ago. Said he couldn't handle the fallout. I can't get another job, my name brings up too much dirt. I don't blame you for exposing me. I deserved it. You were a better husband than I ever acknowledged. A better father. A better man. I let my selfishness burn everything down. Tell Ethan and Lily I love them. Even if they never want to speak to me again. I'm sorry for what I did. I read it twice. Then a third time. Then I tore it in half and tossed it in the fire pit. Because some apologies are too little, too late. She wanted forgiveness? She could ask the mirror. I didn't need closure from her. I already had it, from my kids, from my own strength, from building something better out of the ashes she left behind. Still, something inside me felt unfinished. So I wrote one final message. A public one. I reopened the Cheetah Chronicles account, the one that had gone quiet after Melissa's destruction. I typed slowly, carefully, every word deliberate. Final entry. 6 months ago, my wife betrayed me and our kids with a coworker in her office. She lied. Mocked me. Thought I'd do nothing. Instead, I made her face the truth, publicly, legally, and permanently. This account was never about revenge. It was about consequences. To anyone reading this going through the same thing. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're not alone. Get the evidence. Stay calm. Make your move with precision. And always, always, choose your peace over their lies. I hit post. Within an hour, it was being shared everywhere. Thousands of comments. Support. Applause. Messages from strangers who'd gone through the same hell and found strength in the fire. It wasn't just my story anymore. It was everybody's. I shut the account down for good that night. No more updates. No more drama. Just silence. Beautiful, earned silence. Later, I tucked Lily into bed. She looked up at me with sleepy eyes and asked, "Are we happy now?" I smiled. "Yeah, kiddo. We really are." And that's when I knew the war was over. Not because I won, but because she lost the one thing she never understood the value of. Family. Trust. Loyalty. And I never needed revenge to get that back. I just needed the truth.